So
Definitely
welcome
choppy,
to
Jonathan.
May 20th, 2025. I'm choppy. Work off of my hotspot. In here, you can just start and I'll try.
Okay, I'll go. Matt Mues here. I'm the first speaker anyway. So Jonathan's working on a connection there. As the treasurer of the Neighborhood Association, we give our annual balances. So our operating account is at 7,956. The scholarship group, their big event is tomorrow night. We'll post some more about that in a second, and Kerry's going to speak. But their balance is at a 27,043. Some generous donations by GTI. The Abbey Group sent a nice one in, and Jonathan himself just sent a nice one in through Square. So thank you to all those groups. And the parks account is at 4,504. The operating account, just for the record, pays for most of our monthly things: MailChimp, Zoom, the annual post office. We don't have that many expenses. We do put the lights up in Blackstone Square every year and Franklin Square. Those 4 strands. Those are an expense, but we're covering our bases. We do some tidy up Tuesdays and try to treat people after, but nothing crazy. We're a pretty low maintenance neighborhood association. But the last piece is we did help sponsor O'Day Park. Had a nice event called Bikes Not Fights. They didn't have the best weather, but that's okay. They got a nice donation from the Hamilton group, so they utilized that, and we offset a little bit of their balance with some Amazon wish list stuff for the kids. And that was very nice last weekend, but a few pictures they'll post. So I think that's my rundown. Our 3 accounts.
Great, thank you, Matt. Jonathan, are you back on? Let's give Jonathan one more chance. Otherwise, I'll. Kerry, why don't you go ahead and speak about the scholarship?
Sure.
And our upcoming awards event on tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, yeah. So for those I haven't met before, I'm Kerry Shea. So I've been working with the Scholarship Association for a few years now, and we're having our awards night tomorrow at St. Stephen's at 6 p.m. So love to see, as many neighbors down there as possible. We have some generous food donations from Anushella, so that'll be great. We are giving away 13 scholarships this year. We have 11 new students getting them. They have $2,000 scholarships. We give away one, we call our Partham Scholarship. That's in memory of the originator of the scholarship for $3,000. And one of our returning students will get a scholarship for $1,000. We're going to have one of our students speak this year. You really got to come and hear this kid. He's something to hear. And you'll be hearing his name, I think, for years to come. So yeah, so 6 p.m. tomorrow at St. Stephen's. Love to see you all there.
Great, thank you, Kerry. It's really amazing what you guys on the scholarship committee are able to accomplish every year now, just in terms of the amount of money that you raise, how many kids it benefits, and how much difference it really makes for these kids and their families.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really significant help.
Agreed.
So that's great. And if anybody's interested in making a donation or participating in the scholarship committee going forward, you'd be most welcome. That'd be most appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you.
Are you back, Jonathan? Guess not. So we have one other piece of housekeeping before we dive into the real agenda for today, which is that we annually have a board election for our officers and directors. It's just something that we need to do every May by our bylaws. So this is our May meeting. So what we're going to do is have a real quick vote hopefully quick, to just to elect our upcoming board for the 2026 year. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the names of the proposed officers and directors and their offices, and then we'll have a quick Zoom vote on a motion to approve it as a slate. So the proposed officers and directors are Jonathan Alves, the president, Peter Block, director, Heather Govern, director, Matt Mues, treasurer, Leslie Reitz, director, Kerry Shea, director, and myself, David Stone, as the vice president. So that board would be pleased to have Kerry joining us for the first time, and I will be stepping aside as president and becoming vice president, and Jonathan will be taking over as president. So with that, I'm going to launch a quick poll, and if people can just vote on it, we'll get this done and move on. Just give me 1 second here.
Thank
Can
you,
everybody-
David. I think I'm back.
Oh, great. We're just doing the poll. So can everybody see the poll? Should be up on the screen. Just cast your vote. Give you a few seconds. Anyone else want to vote? We all set? For some reason, I can't vote, but I'm going to vote yes. Okay, great. I think we're set. So I'm going to end the poll. And it looks as though it's going to be 13 or 14 yes, no no's. So with that, thank you. We're electing our new board. Thanks. Jonathan,
Awesome.
take it away.
And I think I saw via text that Matt jumped in and did the treasury report. Was that correct?
Yep. And Kerry just told us about the scholarship committee and this year's event. So you're all,
Okay,
you're all set.
wonderful. Yeah, so everybody knows that tomorrow, everybody's invited. May 21st at St. Stephen's is the annual scholarship event. The only other announcement that we had, which may or may not have been covered, is some of the upcoming events. And we've got a few opportunities for folks to get engaged, to meet neighbors. And, you know, those who have participated in the past, I think, would attest to the fact that it's nice to contribute to the neighborhood, whether it's through a social event or cleaning up in the squares. So from a meeting standpoint, we will have our next meeting on September 16th. And following that, November 18th. So these are Tuesdays. And if anybody on the call has content or a speaker or something that they want to discuss, please email us and we'll make sure we add it to the agenda. We're always looking for relevant content in the neighborhood so that these meetings are valuable to everybody. I'll go ahead and share the email in the chat, or somebody can do that. But feel free to send anything. So September 16th and November 18th are the upcoming meetings. We also have a couple socials planned. We are organizing and have confirmed a joint social on June 3rd with East Berkeley Neighborhood Association and the Worcester Square Neighborhood Association at Cathedral Station at 6 p.m. There might be some folks from Claremont or Chester Square. We've sort of opened it up, but officially it'll be between us, Worcester Square, and East Berkeley at Cathedral Station on June 3rd. And then we will resume our social in the fall, in October. We may do something in the park during one of the cleanups regarding a pizza party. It's always a nice opportunity to, thank those who volunteer and participate. So just stay tuned for that. Those are on Tuesdays. So we might have something coming down the pike there. So just a couple of announcements on some upcoming events. And I hope that we can get folks to participate. I'm going to chat these things for everybody to see right now. Next time, I think we'll have a PowerPoint.
Leslie's posted, I think, while you're out, Jonathan. They're up a bit.
Did she?
7:06. Yep. Leslie.
Oh, great. Okay. So there, it's in the chat as well. Again, I think anybody who's been to them, whether it's a park cleanup or whether it's a neighborhood social, it's a great opportunity to meet neighbors. It's a great opportunity to realize that we're all connected in a lot of different ways, and it makes everybody feel good when you contribute to the community that you live in. So I appreciate that. All right, so moving on in terms of the agenda, I wanted to next introduce someone that I've gotten to know over the last few months, who is leading a nonprofit organization that really focuses on helping City of Boston youth partake in some key life building skills and team sports through basketball. And their founder, Nugget of Beantown Slam, will tell us a little bit about an upcoming event that he's planning in the South End at Peters Park. So Nugget, if you're on,
I'm here.
Feel free to, all right, good. So feel free to introduce yourself and let people know what's coming down the pike on June 25th.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
You sound good on my end. Yep.
Perfect. So Jonathan, thanks for the invite. I believe some of the partners of mine are on here as well. I'm not sure if they can just raise their hand if they're on, but for me, I can give you a little briefing on Beantown Slam. I've been running Beantown Slam for 18 years now. It's a sports and mentoring program based out of Dorchester. We do a lot of after-school programming. We also do summer wellness programming, and we also host the biggest fall league in Mass, and that's based out of the Quincy YMCA. I met Jonathan, like he said, a few months ago. We got to talking about doing family events. I told him I'm formerly out of the Ronin Park area. We do family events there once a year. And he told me, let's try to do something at the South End. I told him, let's give it a shot. And we put something together. We're shooting for June 25th, weather permitting, from 4 to 8. Jonathan, I shared a flyer with you. I don't know if you can screen share the flyer with everyone, but we're looking for people to come out and help, looking for a DJ, a cook. I don't know if Domingo, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, if he said he's going to definitely be the cook that day. And we're going to go out there and we're looking for the young ones to come. We're going to host training, basketball training. We're going to hopefully get bouncy houses and try to engage everyone in the community. I just gave you guys a fast tutorial on Beantown Slam. I'm not sure if the other people are on to talk about it as well, but if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than gladly to answer them.
Let me just give a minute to see. I think I got the flyer, but I'm having trouble bringing it up. So I think what we'll do is we'll post it. We'll send it out to folks so you can see the details. I do believe we have somebody from the neighborhood.
It's not finalized. It's a draft,
Yeah.
But okay. I'm sorry. Sarah has a question.
I think so. Yeah, Sarah's got a question. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hey, Nugget, good to hear from you. Just making sure, do you have everything you need from the city's end as far as, hosting everything and permits? I'm happy to help any way I can on that front. We're looking forward to supporting this event.
From my end, I believe we have all the permits, but I can double check to see if we need anything else. But
Beautiful. Yeah, I know the process can be long-winded, so if there's anything that you need to kind of push things forward, just let me know. And I do need to... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Sarah. I said the only other question we may have is weather permitting, right? So if it does rain that day, are we okay for the following day?
That we'd have to talk with events. You'd have to schedule for a rain date as well with the permit. Okay. It doesn't transfer. Not all of them transfer.
Okay. Jonathan, I'm not sure if we did that already.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. So Sarah, I'll update you guys on Friday when I'm back from New York City, and we could do a little internal call to make sure that we're good on the permitting side of things. I believe we are, but we'll double check everything. But I just posted in the chat, June 25th, Peters Park, 4 to 8 p.m., family day. As Nugget mentioned, there'll be food, there will be music, there will be some kid-friendly activities, and it's a great opportunity to, through the sport of basketball, connect with your neighbors and develop some relationships with folks. So appreciate you, Nugget, coming, and glad to have met you.
Can I introduce? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I introduce Mitch? He just logged on too. He's actually a partner of mine. He's going to be out there helping me train. Mitch, if you're on, if you don't mind sharing bits about Hoops Collaborative and what you do.
How we doing, everybody? Can you hear me?
Doing well. We can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Mitch Hercule, Director of Operations for the Hoops Collaborative Youth Development Program. We work with youth ages 7 to 19, boys and girls. We do a lot of skill development programming. We also partner with a couple of people that do mental health workshops with the young people. we try to track the kids year round to make sure that they're on level, and try to make sure that we get them as many resources as possible to, for them to be successful. So me and Nugget do a lot of work together. We've been doing a lot of work together for a few years now. Tournaments, camps, clinics, things of that nature. I know I have about 600 girls and boys on my registration, and I know Nugget has a ton as well. So bringing events anywhere, just give us some time, and we'll make sure there's a lot of youth there.
Awesome, Mitch. Appreciate that, man. Looking forward to meeting you in person at the event, and honestly, just talking about different ways we can connect the communities and put together these great events. You guys are doing great work. I'm really inspired by it.
So John, once I finalize the flyer with all the final details, I'll share it with you, and you can share it with everyone else.
Yep. We'll make sure we post it out on the email distribution, the South End Forum, and I think Sarah Sharp will also make sure it's on the city communications as well.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you Friday. All right. Moving along in the spirit of the agenda, I'd like to next invite long-term friend and resident and neighborhood developer David Goldman to speak and talk a little bit about 575 Albany Street, a new project that his organization, New Boston Ventures, is working on at the corner of East Dedham and Albany. It's next to the Rebel dispensary and another development that's taking place over there. So, David, if you're on,
yes,
or a colleague, yeah, feel free to jump in and say hi and talk about this exciting new project.
Hello, it's nice to meet everybody. It's a little bit odd for me because I've been to this neighborhood association many times, and I'm sort of surprised how many faces have changed and how many new faces there are, which is a good thing. I think the first time I came here was for the old Allen House Mansion project, and Randy Lathrop was the president, and Mark Giroux, who moved to California, if anyone remembers him, was the vice president. So, and that dates back to 1997, something like that. Anyways, it's nice to be back. This is, I think, the third development we've done in this fourth actually in this neighborhood, and also Worcester Square. 575 Albany is 44 condominium units. There are 5 on-site artist live work units on the first floor of the building, a small commercial space and a lobby. And there are almost 3.8 additional affordable units being purchased off-site. This is all part of a previous arrangement and deal that was struck between the folks who did the Smith block, who we bought the building from, and in the city of Boston. So we came in a little late in the game, and the Smith block folks didn't want to do this building, and it looked like a great opportunity for us. So we've started construction after a long process of approvals from the city. Surprisingly long, since we thought we were buying an approved project. It was part of the PDA, but it is what it is. And piles are going in right now under the building, which you can't really see, to hold up the structure that's coming. There's going to be a bump out on the back of the building that faces the Smith block, and a 6th floor addition is being added, which will be set back, so it'll be a little difficult to see from the street. And we're really excited about it. You know, one of the things we've always done is to reach out to what at one point were far corners of the neighborhood. The Allen House is an example of that. The Modern over on Northampton Street, Dover Lofts over on East Berkeley Street. And it's sort of like, you know, overlooked parts of the neighborhood. And this seems to be happening now on Albany Street. We're doing 575 right next to us. Another group is doing a building there. And then at the end of the block, Drew Bassard is doing the building on the corner, on the far corner, which is mostly complete now and going up. And then hopefully with a little luck, someday maybe something will happen on the Flower Mart. So we're excited about it. And if anyone has any questions or anyone wants to learn more about it, we're available. We've been in the neighborhood a long time. Those of you who know us know that we are very accessible. If you have any questions or need to reach out to us, we're here. We're always here and will be. I think, unless there's specific questions.
I have a question or two, David.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think, yeah, go ahead, David.
Just a
David,
couple.
ask David.
Just a couple. First of all, I may have missed it, but what's your sense of when the project is completed and you're sort of opening the doors for purchasers?
Sure thing. Well, also let me mention that one of the things which is kind of unique about this project is we are longtime South End developers. The general contractor who we've chosen for this development is Holland Companies, who is based here in the South End. Their office is literally on Albany Street, like 5 doors down. The architect for the development is Rhodey. Their office is 3 doors down on Albany Street. It is a very, very local team. They're in there. They've started construction now. Joe Holland is telling us that he thinks from start to finish, we're looking at somewhere between 18 to 24 months. And we're into it now for a little bit. So probably by 2 years from now, we should see people moving in.
Great. I just have one other question, but I just want to comment. It's really an amazing transformation that's happening on that block or two of Albany Street between your project, between Drew Broussard's project that's now very near completion on East Canton Street. And then Greg McCarthy has the Naval Blood building that it looks like he's actively working on. So I think it's really, really going to be an amazing and positive transformation in terms of having people, many, many people live in there. Just out of curiosity, the empty lot that's next door to you that formerly was a building till it was taken down last year, I think because it was structurally deficient. I don't think you own that, but I'm just curious whether you have any idea what's going on with it, if anything, other than that they've taken down what was there due to the fact it was at risk of falling down.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that it's a very active developer. I think they're City Realty.
Right.
They're based in Brookline or Brighton. They do a lot of developments throughout the city. Sometimes they permit them and sell them. Sometimes they do them. They do both rental and condominium projects. And they have, if you throw the address into the BPDA whatever they call it today, the zoning department website, you can find the plans and the proposal and what they're intending to build there, which is another residential building, which further goes to make the point you were making a minute ago.
Yeah, right. Good. Okay, well, we'll reach out to them. And again, I know it's not your project or your property, but I was just curious. Again,
I can certainly find out who to talk to if you need to know that. They on other projects in the past, they have approached us, and I believe that they're working with I believe Embark Architects, who's an old friend of mine. D'Artagnan Brown is the principal there.
Okay.
So if you need us to help make a connection, we can do that for you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And again, it's great though to see all of what's going on there, and you guys are part of it. So appreciated.
Hi, I have a question. My name's Deborah Hull. I'm on East Dedham Street, in a small warehouse building in a live workspace. So I'd be grateful if you could talk a little bit more about the potential artist live workspaces.
Sure. We've done this in a number of the buildings we've done. It seems like it's really appropriate in this neighborhood. There's such an artist community already established here, which has grown over the years, and a lot of people are being displaced. I know that further down, a little out of the neighborhood, they're pushing people out of the Piano Factory building, and then some of the other warehouses in the neighborhood, people are being displaced. So we just see this as an opportunity to keep a number of the artists who already are in the neighborhood to stay in the neighborhood. The city has agreed on a large percentage of the units to allow local preference for people who live in the neighborhood. And it will be done, they're affordable, and it will be done through a lottery process, which is managed by a third party. And we honestly have nothing to do with the selection process. The artists will have to go through a process with the city where they're certified as legitimate real artists before they can apply. And then they apply, then they go into a lottery once they're certified by the city as artists. And the units, they're around, I think, 700-800 square feet in that neighborhood, direct access to the exterior of the building, pretty high ceiling heights. They would have been higher, but the city is now making us comply, although I think we're grandfathered from it, but just the same with the new floodplain zones. And so we've got to lift our first floor up 3 feet. So we were at one point thinking they were going to have 14-foot ceiling heights, which would have been great for artist space. But now with the change in the first floor ceiling height, they will be 3 feet less, 11 feet, which is still generous, but not what we were hoping for.
And these are condos?
Yes, it's all home ownership.
Okay. And again, you said are they part of the affordable percentage?
Yes, they are the affordable percentage.
Okay. And out of curiosity, you said these are all on the first floor, so using
That's correct.
elevator, I mean, you will have elevators, but I mean,
Yes.
that's, if they're on the first floor, not so much an issue. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, the idea is to keep the artist spaces on the first floor with some direct access to the outside of the building. So if they're large format artists, they have the ability to move product in and out, which also with larger doors than are on the other units and better ceiling heights.
So how do artists find out more about this if they're interested?
Well, at some point when we get a little closer to completion, a third party group, we frequently use Maloney Properties, although right now we are talking to some folks within Caldwell Banker who are now breaking into this end of that business. We'll be advertising. The advertising and the reach out is governed by policies that are overseen by the city. It has to be advertised in a number of different media markets, as well as to a variety, I'm trying to think of the right words. The reach out is to try to reach as many people as possible in all the different communities and the diverse communities that we have here in Boston, in all income brackets and levels. And so once that outreach has been done, people can apply to the city to be certified as an artist, and then their application will go into the lottery, and then if they get lucky, they get chosen.
So it's only so priority is to city artists.
Well, fair housing doesn't allow us to say things like that, but there was I believe we have a certain percentage of the units here that they have agreed to give us local preference on.
Okay, I was just curious for someone who doesn't live in the city.
Well, no, it's not exclusively. It can't be.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good questions, Deborah. Nice to hear your voice. Mr. Goldman, thanks for coming on. But I just want to let you know that don't worry about Randy's house. Our pal Jonathan's brother Joe bought Randy's house a few years ago, so we're still all in the mix. Don't worry.
Well, I still talk to Randy on a pretty regular basis, and I still, even though he lives in California now, talk with Mark Giroux occasionally, and have been out there to visit with him a few times.
I'd love to grab a coffee with you at some point, David, and get some more neighborhood history. Because I've only been here for 10 years, so I'm a baby compared to some folks.
Yeah, I'm so old that I am actually on one of the photographs on the bus stop near Blackstone, Franklin.
Well, you know what? That's how you know you've made it. When you get on the Silver Line bus stop images, you have made it in the South End.
Yeah, but it was taken so long
Yeah.
ago. When I look at what I was wearing, I get really embarrassed.
Hey, listen, what goes around comes around. We're dressing like the 90s all over again. So, just give it a couple more years. You'll be back in style. No problem.
I hope I can wait that long. Or I'll be here that long.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I echo David's, Stone's comments. I've witnessed several of your projects in the South End, and love what you're doing. We need housing. We need positive foot traffic. So thanks for your commitment to the neighborhood. And I shared your email with everybody, so if anybody had any direct questions, I feel like they could reach out to you directly. But we'll certainly invite you back as things progress.
Just out of curiosity, do you have my old or my new email?
I did the one at newbostonventures.com.
That's the right one. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, take care. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, David. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Take care.
All right, we're doing well on time. So I'd like to next introduce a friend of mine from the Blackstone Elementary School, Dave Russek. Dave is the chair of the Friends of Blackstone School. I've gotten to know him a little bit over the last few months, in particular during a reading that several community folks did at the school. And, he talked to me about some initiatives, some goals, some aspirations that the school has to, improve and increase the educational opportunities and conditions at the school for the kids that they support. And I wanted to, give him an opportunity, as we've done in the past, to meet new folks in the neighborhood and introduce some of the things that they're working on at a school that is in our district. So David, if you're on, and I think you might have brought some colleagues with you, feel free to have the floor.
Thank you, Jonathan. One, thank you for the opportunity for speaking with everybody. Am I able to share? I actually created a PowerPoint that.
Yeah, you should be. I might ask David Stone to do that. Yeah.
I just sent somebody a request.
All right, so I just made you a co-host, so hopefully you can do it.
Okay, let's see here. Which one do I want?
Yeah, hopefully you see a little green arrow in the menu at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Share. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, let me see if I can actually.
That's great. If you want to throw it into presentation mode, that'll work. If not, we can see what you got so far.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to just give me a second here to. Oops. Just trying to navigate this. From the beginning. There we go. Okay. So just as a brief introduction, my name is David Russek. I actually lived in the South End for the last 25 years with my wife. I'm president or chair of the Friends of Blackstone School for the last 2 years. I've been part of the organization for the last 10 years. I did see some fellow board members, I think, on the call. One is Kim Paddock, who is our treasurer. And I think Lauren Van Buren is also on, but I saw a Lauren. So you guys can jump in anytime and help me out if I don't make a point clear. My primary objective is to introduce or reintroduce you to the Blackstone School and the Friends of Blackstone Schools. So part of what we're really focused on this year is communication and community engagement, and then fundraising. So the context, I hope you remember the context of this when we go out and you either see us in the SIVA holiday stroll or when we run a campaign. So let me just share a little bit about the Blackstone School if you don't know about it. It's really located right in the heart of the South End. The school has about 600 students from almost every neighborhood in Boston. It is a city school versus a neighborhood school. And the kids bring with them about 8 different languages that are spoken. So it's got a tremendous amount of diversity at the school. Two highlights that I wanted to make about the school is they are currently celebrating their 50th anniversary. The school was built in 1975. I don't know if anybody's actually been in the school, but it was built at the time with other schools in the city of Boston to a very open system. So some of the classrooms don't have walls, it's an older school. One of the benefits of the school that it is physically connected to the Blackstone Community Center. So the community center offers a lot of different programs for the school. As I said, it's physically connected. And then years ago, it also housed the South End Community Health Center, so that the kids could actually walk over there during school, which was awesome. Since it was consolidated with East Boston, they closed that section. The leadership of the school is new. Since my 10 years, this is the 5th principal I've seen. Courtney joined the school last year. She brings 20 years of BPS experience, and she's a Boston native, and she knows everybody. She just has a tremendous amount of energy and a tremendous amount of experience. And Vice Principal Lisette is also from Boston, or lives in Boston, and is a PhD candidate. They both bring a tremendous amount, as I said, energy, but experience to that. And I think one of the things Courtney is focused on is really kind of the building from the ground up. And I'll talk a little bit about that in another slide, but part of what she's focused on is there's a bilingual program that's starting next year at the kindergarten grade, and then building up from that. But fundamentally, why your support matters is 96% of the students are high needs, and high needs is defined as low income, homeless, English learners, and students with disabilities and multiple disabilities. So it's every school's got its issue. Blackstone happens to have a higher density of these types of kids and needs a lot more support and attention from the community.
Just a couple of points on that, couple of other points on that, David.
Yeah.
So the Blackstone School serves children from pre-K through 6th grade. It also has the largest bilingual multiple disabilities program in the city. So, you know, as David mentioned, the high needs, that just kind of gives you an idea of the population this school serves.
Thanks, Kim. So I included a quote here from the principal, Courtney, and basically her message is trying to empower every student and member to learn, grow, and thrive in an inclusive environment. Their tagline that she uses a lot is brilliance at Blackstone, or Blackstone brilliance. And they really are committed to the strengths and cultures and identities of the diversity of the community. So the primary focus areas that she has for this year are equitable literacy, which is recognizing that students have different needs and they need to provide instruction based on their needs. So they spend a lot of time on it. They're really focused on creating a strong sense of belonging at the school, which ultimately provides a safe and supportive environment for all students. And then the third sort of primary focus area is attendance. And the goal is 94%. They're achieving just right under 90%. But they're implemented two focus areas. One is creating incentives for perfect attendance, just a lot of communications in the classroom, a lot of communications with the kids and incentives, but also they're working on engaging parents with regular communication. So a lot of the attendance are not because of the kids, it's just because of some of the limitations of the parents getting their kids to the schools. So who are we? The Friends of Blackstone School, we were established in 2012, all by residents of the South End. We are a nonprofit in good standing, which we're very proud of. And then in September, we were awarded an official resolution from Councilor Flynn, which we're very proud of, just dedicated to our commitment and dedication to the students and the families of Blackstone School. So that was a lot, that was great for us to receive. And our board is currently made up of 8 directors, and we have 1 more opening for a director. Our mission is simple. We're basically dedicated to investing our time and talents and financial resources to benefit the students, teachers, and school leadership. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. So we have 4 primary goals here. 1 is support student success to help them thrive academically, socially, and emotionally by funding field trips. And field trips maybe seem, you know, kind of a basic kind of thing, but a lot of the kids have never been to a museum or never been to the aquarium or never been to a farm. So giving them an opportunity to go out and see animals, farm animals, and apple pinking is, we get a tremendous amount of positive feedback from that. We also invest in the teachers and training and also appreciation. But for training, we've had people attend evidence-based reading intervention program, which is designed to address difficulties in reading and spelling for the younger kids or all the kids. And we invested in a toolkit to assist instruction with students with dyslexia. Sorry about that. So those are just a couple of examples. And then one of the other goals is to bridge resource gaps. And that's really working with the teachers and administration. And things that we kind of invest in there, examples are new furniture for the library, adding new art, and renovating the greenhouse. So it's all part of what we try to do is do a broad base, but we're limited, as many nonprofits are, by funding. And then the last, but not the most, it is strengthening school and community. And this is really by participating in and or sponsoring events like Read Across Blackstone. Jonathan actually participated in that. We had about 40 other participants, as well as participation in the program of Love Your Block.
It was a very rewarding experience. I would just want to make a comment. It's not something I've done in probably 20 years. My mother was a first grade teacher. I used to do it sometimes when I was younger and you know, during college break. But I just want to emphasize that I walked out of that classroom feeling totally re-energized and inspired by the kids and hearing about their different traditions. We were reading a book about an octopus that they were going to cook and eat, but it was really just a story. They didn't eat the octopus. And then we started talking about family traditions. And, you know, what's really exciting is that the school is so diverse. And, you know, my family came from Portugal in the 60s. A lot of these kids are first generation like me. So they have cultural traditions. And it was just a great opportunity to see these young kids and their eyes light up and share their stories and their joy. So if anybody's on and wants to do that, I'm sure, David, you'll share some info on how they can get involved. But it was really, it was really a reminder of, you know, what we can do as a community when we come together, and really a reminder that there's hope out there, despite things being difficult right now in many ways. So I just wanted to chime in on that.
Jonathan,
it was great.
Yeah, Jonathan, this is Rep Moran. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think they were amazing, and they asked great questions. I guess next time I go to read a book, I want to make sure I'm ready for the questions.
You might have to read it in advance.
John, peacock among pigeons, but they were amazing, and I love the fact that you're mentioning how diverse and multicultural, and the art throughout the place is amazing with all the different cultures, including LGBTQ plus signs everywhere. So it's really good.
Definitely.
Anyway, David, actually, there's a tremendous amount of very interesting art. A lot of it was put in the early 70s or mid 70s. And we're actually trying to inventory some of it and get word out there. But there's some pretty famous artists that have left their art there with some very large murals. But John and Jonathan, thank you for jumping in on that. So, so at the friend, how do we try to accomplish what our goals is? One is by community engagement. So right now we're really focused on getting our communications down. We want to get out to neighborhood associations. We want to communicate to as many people as possible. What is Blackstone School about, and how are they operating? And then the other one is we need to raise funds here. Our annual campaign is we tag it as Season of Light, and it goes out in about the December timeframe. It's probably our largest source of funds at this point. We raise about $35,000 every year. My objective, which I haven't shared all with the board yet, is I'd like to double that. I think what I said to them in the planning meeting the other day, I'd really look forward to doing a tax form. And right now we don't, because we're underneath $50,000. It does sound weird, but that's success. The other types of things that we did a friend raiser. We want to do another friend raiser in the fall. Mostly talking about the school and not a fundraiser. It's getting people engaged to walk around the school, to actually see it, meet the teachers, and understand some of the challenges specifically from the teachers. And then also we do individual campaigns, and Lauren, who is the newest board member, is doing a half marathon this month, and with a friend of hers that she's known for 20 years, and she had set a goal for $1,000, and she's raised over $4,000, which is huge for the organization. So we want to find other opportunities like that we can go out to the community. Jonathan, you have your hand up, or I can see it.
No, it's just a round of applause, a digital round of applause.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
David, could you share the link if people want to make a financial contribution, or your email at the very least if they want to get involved?
I can do that. It's also on the slide, and I think.
Right. You know what? I think I have. Is it your email that you use, or do you have a formal one?
No, you can use that email.
Okay, I'll share that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat. So if anybody wants to get involved, volunteer, make a financial contribution, they can coordinate with you directly.
That'd be great.
Okay.
So the biggest piece of what we do is really fund a need, and I want to really stress that we spend a lot of time with the teachers and the administration to fund a need. We have a monthly meeting. Kim does a fabulous job of going through the requests. We don't approve everything. We try to, but we can't. But the other thing is we really try to align to the goals and the priorities of the school. So that's equitable literacy, there's excursions, and school culture and belonging. So the next slide is, where does our money go? So a couple of things that I wanted to highlight just for this year is in attendance, we actually funded a home visit dinner initiative. And this is where Lisette can actually go out to the families that have real issues with attendance and bring dinner and have a discussion. It's hands-on, it's one-on-one, and it's really a very, very important engagement. The other area that we're focused on is equitable literacy, and this includes the Scholastic Book Fair and Read Across Blackstone. Part of what we do is not only participate, but we buy food, and food in our programs is a big draw to the people, for the parents, especially at the school. And then school culture and belonging. Some of the things that we fund are excursions, for example, the Museum of Fine Arts, Legoland, the STEM workshop, and Thompson Island. I'd have to say most of the funding for excursions is primarily for transportation. It's transportation for the kids and for kids with disabilities. The other piece of it is most of the excursions are educational in nature. There is an exception that we're sending the 6th grade class to Canopy Park later this month as kind of a nice graduation reward for them. So that's kind of really my core focus, but I did want to do a quick shout out. There's a couple of organizations. Formaggio Kitchen has been a longtime friend and supporter of the school and all of our activities. GTI Properties did the greenhouse clean out, and they donated the time of 2 guys for a whole day, 4 dump trucks worth of debris, which was huge to get that out. And it really is a really nice environment for the kids to sort of see how things grow, which is great. Related Beal and Liberty Mutual both gave us donations and a nice holiday drive. So we're going to continue trying to get sponsorship from corporations and others, especially our neighbors in the South End. So how can you help? One is get involved. Attend our events. So earlier this week, we had a wellness night and other types of activities. But part of what we really want is to have you attend our events, and we're creating a calendar that we're going to publish to go out there. And one of the events that we had is we did our 3rd annual MCAS breakfast, where we served about 1,500 breakfasts over 8 days. So that's 3,000 pancakes, a whole bunch of blueberries and strawberry smoothies. But the point is, we had lots of volunteers. We had volunteers from Literations, Boston Partners in Education, United South End Settlements, Neighbors, Friends, and Teachers. And I just do want to do a shout out, and I know she dropped off the line, to Sarah Sharp, who also attended. But attending the events and seeing what the school is and about is huge. You can make a generous donation. This is the link that goes to our website, and that would be great. But most importantly, at least to me, beyond the money, and money is important, is collaborate with us. So keep us top of mind as you're doing something, to explore opportunities to work together, to collaborate, so we can kind of send the message out about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So on that note, I just want to say thank you. These are some of the pictures of what we've done in the last year. I think the board is very excited about the new leadership and the direction that we're headed. We can do a lot more in the coming year. So thank you. That's all I've got, Jonathan. And unless Kim, you want to add anything? Okay.
Thank you, David. It looks like we got a question from Reggie Stewart, who's representing District 7.
Okay.
Hey, good evening. Not a question, just a comment. Just thank you for the work you do. I was blessed to attend the event in March to read to the kids, and it was an amazing experience. You guys keep it up. Next time it's time to read to the kids, let me know. I'll come running. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David. Thank you for your work. Without sounding too cliche, we know that, kids are the future, they're the opportunities, and kids deserve a chance to do something great in this world. And what you're doing is you're helping them to have the same opportunities that a lot of us had, or give people opportunities that some folks didn't have. So we appreciate that, and look forward to staying engaged on what you got coming down the pike. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan, can I ask one question? Thank you for what you're doing. And we've had a nice partnership with you guys through the years. We have given to the Amazon wish list for years. I hope we can continue to promote that at Christmas, because that's been very successful. I don't know how much you've seen of that in your 2 years with the COVID and everything, but we have done that with you guys in the past.
Yeah, no, Matt, thank you very much. We are huge advocates of that. It's actually a great program to do that. So we will continue to send out communications to that. The more that we send it out, there's some wonderful, wonderful donations that come through. So thank you very much for mentioning that.
Of course. And the last thing is we're hearing rumblings of school renovations. Is this true?
Well, I laugh because I honestly don't know. I hear rumblings back and forth of renovations. I will say that in the last year, the school has undergone some very significant, I guess, good renovations, but a lot of great painting, the walls, new water fountains, and a lot of work around the school. Some of the renovations are limited by the age of the school. So once you start pushing against one thing, something else has to get done. But the simple answer is I don't know. I'm going to ask.
Yeah, definitely keep us posted. And if there's anything we can do to support, that'd be great. All right. We're doing pretty good on time, just about at the top of the hour. Right before I introduce our last speaker, who's last but certainly not least, I just want to acknowledge really quickly, I think, Reggie, you inspired me. So we've got some representatives here from our city and state, city council and state offices. So Reggie Lewis is with District 7, Tanya Fernandez. Thank you for joining us, Reggie. Also really looking forward to more collaboration with District 7 as well, as many of us fall in District 3 and I think 4. Don't hold me to that. But thank you for joining us. I think we also heard from Representative John Moran. John, if you're still on, I want to just say a really quick hello. I know you already mentioned the reading, but it's always great to have you. There he is. Hey,
yeah,
John.
hi everybody. Here I am standing in my kitchen. It's great to see everybody, and thanks for this great meeting and great dialogue. On the Blackstone, I just had one comment. I think the last I talked with Councillor Flynn, I think some of the conversation in City Hall is whether we rebuild or whether we update. So I think that's a conversation maybe, David, to have. But thanks for the great presentations, and I don't want to hold up the meeting, but lots going on at the State House relative to the 26 budget and the Senate. I was just with some senators trying to make sure we got our stuff from the House in there, and we're facing some potential federal cuts, so we have to really think about carefully about our spending. But hopefully we'll get a budget over the line pretty soon. There's another supplemental budget coming tomorrow in the House we're going in to vote on related to healthcare. So it's a busy time. So appreciate all of you guys, all the amazing work that the leaders like you, Jonathan, and others do in the neighborhoods, because it makes my job easier. But we do have obviously some issues coming around Mass and Cass. My email has been blowing up for the last 4 days, and we're doing everything we can to support and elevate the issues. I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yeah, I can personally attest, just being involved in some of that stuff, that you and your office remain super, super responsive. So if anybody ever has a state level issue or even a neighborhood issue, John is a great conduit for us. So thanks for balancing a really busy schedule and being with us today. It means a lot. I also just want to acknowledge Riley Nichols from State Senator Collins' office. Thank you for joining, Riley. Please pass along our appreciation for Senator Collins and his responsiveness as well to our different neighborhood groups. If you want to just say a quick hello, feel free. Otherwise, just seeing you here it matters a lot. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I missed. Connor Finn, I think, is also on. Connor, I don't know if you want to say a quick hi. You're representing. I actually don't know who you're representing.
Hi there. Yes, I'm Representative Moran's new.
Oh, you're new. Okay, that's right. Okay. Well, nice to meet you. Yeah, he mentioned he was getting somebody new. So, all right, there we are. So Connor Finn, I was like, I didn't recognize that name, and I couldn't see because it was ... on my screen.
Glad to be here, and if I can be of any help, I'm always available.
Yeah. If you don't mind, feel free to shoot your email in the chat for folks. I know you act as a liaison for folks in John's schedule. I think we got everybody. So listen, we're just a little bit over, but I want to make sure I afford some time here to Gray Black. I got an email a couple months ago about Gray joining the City of Boston's planning department team and community engagement. I thought it was kind of interesting, the role, and wanted to give him the opportunity to introduce himself to the Blackstone, Franklin Square, and South End neighbors. So Gray, if you're on, feel free to say hello and maybe a little bit about what some of the things you're going to focus on.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you having me, and everyone for being here and listening and engaged in your community. Like Jonathan said, my name's Gray. I am a new community engagement manager for the planning department. I started 6 months ago yesterday. So getting my feet wet in the role. I am part of the team. My role specifically is to engage small business owners, their employees, their managers, and bring them into the planning process. Historically, planning has not done a great job of including small businesses into how we're looking at planning initiatives, development review, and all the ways that the city is envisioning itself growing as more people want to be here and be a part of the great city of Boston. So my role is to figure out some of the needs and the development and the direction of small businesses, what their goals and futures and passions are, and then figure out in the ways that we're creating policy around the built environment, around Article 80 projects, around small development projects, around transportation infrastructure, that we can make sure that we are catering to and including them in that, and keeping them front of mind in that process. So again, I've been doing this for 6 months. I live in Austin, Brighton, so I don't always get out to the South End, but I've played a couple soccer tournaments there. I've been to some First Fridays. I've biked around and gotten to through every part of the city in some capacity. And for the things that you're thinking about, I don't think there are any active planning initiatives, but there are always some projects going on in South End, in the ways that you are thinking about them and wanting to navigate some of the city resources, and navigate some of the city like regulations and policies and procedures of what is going on for every new construction project that is happening. I am happy to be a conduit and answer some questions and be an inside person to navigate that process. I will send my email. Jonathan has my email. And did you include that in the agenda?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody, if that's okay.
Awesome. And so happy to make some of those ties and those conversations easier. South End is a neighborhood I know that has a strong like arts and culture scene, and I myself do some arts organizing out in Austin, Brighton. We're known more for our underground basement, a little grungier feel, but I always appreciate the arts, and that's what my favorite parts about like going out to South End and seeing the galleries and things that exist there. So I believe that's it for me. Currently right now I'm working on 2 bigger initiatives with the Austin Brighton Community Plan and then the Anti-Displacement Action Plan. So as the city is growing and envisioning all the new people who are coming, how do we keep in place the residents who are here, supporting renters, homeowners, small businesses, cultural institutions in the way that they navigate changing times, increasing rents, and changing development in the city. So if you have any questions about that, we're happy to share some tools and figure out what are the things we're doing well and what are the things that we can continue to do to help keep City of Boston residents in place. And then I have a number of coworkers who work with young people, with renters, with people who are speaking Spanish as a primary language, and including them in the process as groups that we have not previously heard from in the way that we have been engaged in community. So that is my spiel. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me as part of this, and I'm excited for the next time I get out to the South End.
Awesome. Thank you, Gray. Really appreciate it. If anybody has a question, feel free to shoot the chat, or I put Gray's email in there if you want to reach out personally and connect one-on-one. Excited about the stuff that you're working on, keeping people in the city, keeping, things affordable, keeping families in the city, super critical. So that's exciting. Maybe just conclude with, since people are getting to know you, just one random or fun fact about you. Anything you want to say?
All right. Slightly controversial fun facts.
That's all right. They usually are. That's what makes them fun.
So, my fun fact is that I am faster than a train. There was an unsanctioned race called the Charlie Card Challenge. You race the green line from Boston College to Boston Common, 6 miles. And, I ran a couple red lights and cut a couple people off, but I did beat the green line from the entirety of the B line. So,
wow,
that's hilarious, actually.
I don't know if that's impressive or sad. I don't know. I don't know how to take it, but we'll let the audience decide that.
I go downstairs to the transportation department to figure out how they can make the train faster than me. That is something that I do regularly.
Hey, we'll connect offline about that because transportation is a personal passion of mine. So
I love to talk about it. I was a transportation advocate before I was in this role, and so I care a lot about how people get around the city.
Oh, don't do that, Gray. Jonathan will blow your doors off.
That's right. You'll find me on the orange line, the silver line, the #1 bus, and everywhere in between.
All right, I get to go last because I'm treasurer and because I can. I just want to. The last David Stone has been president for 9 years. Maybe not exactly 9, but somewhere in there. I just want to give a shout out. He's been a wonderful person to work with, you know, concise yet detailed, well spoken all through these years. We've had some very controversial things come through our neighborhood, even just this little area. He's a promoter of all things that we've done and an avid park cleaner as well, just like Jonathan. Thank you, David. There's a lot of people that owe you thank you that aren't even on this meeting, but I don't want to go unnoticed how instrumental he's been. There's a lot of residents that don't even know how helpful he's been. So cheers to you, and please don't retire as vice president yet because we need you.
Well,
but
for better or worse, I am sticking around, and I really thank you for that. I really appreciate that. This group has been just so, I got involved in 2017, I think, and it's just been such a great group, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've made a lot of really great friends, including you and a number of other people who are on this call. So I really do appreciate it, and I'm glad to continue to be part of it.
Big shoes to fill, David. That's all I can say.
Well, you'll do great. So, and I'm glad you're willing to step forward. I mean, we've been so fortunate that we always, it seems, have people who are willing to step forward and do their part.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, thank you, everybody. I know we went a little bit over tonight. We tried to keep it to an hour, but I think the content was good. It's great to meet new folks, both in the neighborhood and at the city level. Again, we've got a joint neighborhood social on June 3rd, Cathedral Station. It'll be a wide event, East Berkeley, Worcester Square, Blackstone, Claremont, maybe some other folks. All are welcome. Tell your friends. And we look forward to more get-togethers throughout the year. Happy spring, everybody. Have a great night.